Shannon Hoover, our next presenter, is a technology evangelist and founder of Endeavor Arts, Make Fashion, and Maker Fair YYC. Shannon grew up on a farm, Farm Kids Unite, in northern Alberta, where he learned to build things with his hands and gain an appreciation for the world around him. His career shifted towards technology, and he has worked about 20 years in IT, most recently at WestJet Airlines. In 2013, he and his wife were recognized with Top 40 Under 40 Award. Nice work. There's another winner over there. And his latest project is to develop an urban pop-up market to help makers and artisans transition their passions into reality. Please welcome Shannon Hoover.
All right, I got to take a minute to arrange my technology. It's my timer, my notes, and then, yes, the slides here. All right. Hopefully none of it crashes. Okay. My topic this evening is on 3D printing. To me, it kind of represents change, and I appreciate that there's been a lot of that kind of discussion going on here tonight. So, start now. All right, whenever people discuss disruptive technologies, it always emerges that people react with every emotions from apathy to fear to skepticism, occasionally excitement. On 3D printing, I've heard, oh, that's just a fad, or how will this technology affect my life, or I'm not a fan of cheap plastic things. Well, this is a technology life cycle graph. It applies to all technology, but for the sake of this talk, it's important only to know that it's compressing. It's getting smaller significantly. In my parents' time, technology was expected to last 100 or 50 or 20 years, but now it's 10 or 5 or 2 years. The term 3D printing is a little bit misleading. Really, we're talking about additive manufacturing. It puts a layer of a substance and just adds layer by layer. It builds it up. Some of those materials that are being made with 3D printing are biodegradable plastics, ceramics, glass, sandstone, titanium, stainless steel, brass, stem cells, and graphene. So 3D printing is disruptive. Now, I couldn't use just one word to describe it, so I picked all the homonyms. Metal, 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 and metal. Yes, I know that's confusing. And thankfully, the poet earlier explained them all for us, so I don't have to. So let's start with metal, the formative material. Now, I know everybody's heard about the 3D printed gun, and we think it's going to mean the destruction of our society. Well, I don't want to belabor that point too much, but ever since Prometheus brought fire down from Mount Olympus, we have somehow survived technology becoming weaponized, and we'll survive this one too, I promise you. So let's move on to something useful, like manufacturing parts that help us fix our cars and our lamps and our bicycles and things around the home. Do you have more manufacturers are releasing 3D printed or designs for their materials? You can print them on your printer at home or print them around on the print shop around the corner. And if one doesn't exist, I will make one. This isn't just for home use either. NASA and Boeing are building 3D printed components. This, what you see up there, there's on the back is the manufactured one, the front is the 3D printed one. It's stronger, it's lighter, it's more environmentally friendly, and much less waste. So I'm going to talk about metal here. This is human spirit and resilience. This is a 3-year-old girl with arthrogryposis, which means she can't lift her arms. So the cure was this complex structure that she would put her arms into, but it cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. 3D printing made it for her for hundreds of dollars. Human organs, by laying down a protein scaffold and seeding it with a patient's own stem cells, we're now printing livers, kidneys, hearts, bladders, other organs, and tissues. The result is complete functional organs of living tissue. In 60 years from the first transplant, we're able to print 3D organs out of living cells. Surgeons use 3D scanners to scan our bones and our organs. These become models that are printed and show the exact position of anomalies. And then we create hip implants and cranial and facial bones, heart valves. This makes surgery safer, faster, will solve problems of animal testing, donor shortage, immune suppression, and many others. Disruption, adapt or die. Do you remember Blockbuster? 3D printing is the Napster of our physical world. If you run a company, you need to consider how this technology might impact the way you do business. If you're a parent or a teacher, think of how it's going to impact the children. And Google's getting on the bandwagon. They're using just-in-time manufacturing for their new Moto X product and 3D printing for their Project Era. Smaller, highly automated, more flexible, cost-effective manufacturing centers lead to greater consumer choice, faster fulfillment, and much lower impact on the environment. And the holy grail of 3D printing right now is 3D printing circuits. As graphene research develops, circuits and many components are printed directly into an object structure as it's developed. Multi-material 3D printing means you can print a robot that will be able to walk off the build platform with its own power. Fashion. A friend and I are building a full-body 3D scanner that will allow us to print wearable technology specifically for the body that is scanned. You can also use it to virtually try on clothes or different looks, send the model to your bespoke tailor to use as precise measurements for your perfectly fitted suit. On to metal. Human achievement. The Industrial Revolution has brought us globalization, and economies depend on worldwide cheap labor markets. We put layers between us and the artisan, and it brings no value to us, punishing those who make the products and rewarding those who pollute. 3D printing leads to more choice, more reward for the artisans, more repairable products, and significantly reduced environmental impact. Our children are growing up in an empowered time. Not only exhaustive knowledge is at their fingertips, but my friend uses his 3D printer to play with his 3-year-old daughter, and she's literally learning to imagine things into existence. Creativity is the new black, and it's a good thing too, because non-creative jobs are being replaced by robots. A few years ago, a double amputee almost qualified for the Olympics. Since then, advances in 3D printing related prosthetics has been mind-blowing. Maybe not this year, but very soon, prosthetics will allow higher performance to disabled people than able-bodied humans. The cyborg Olympics, anyone? 3D printing on a molecular scale. Current resolution is about 10 microns per layer. The image you see here is the width of a hair, 200 microns total. They're already doing 3D printing at the molecular level, building basically a Star Trek replicator. From the very small to the very large, we're now able to print homes. They're more environmentally friendly, built with curves and arches that don't sacrifice simplicity for safety. All we do is drop off the printer raw materials and come back a day later to enjoy our fully formed homes. And they're also sending one to the space station. So let's review. In the next 3 years, or next few years of 3D printing will bring us significantly improved healthcare, a return to an artisan economy, the automated building of homes, a Star Trek replicator, and to top it all off, the ability to save the world from environmentally disaster. Oh yeah, and cyborgs. Well, either way, I'm excited. Bring on the cyborgs.